Greetings, humans. I have just started working in Minetest, and I am making this video because I can't find information about the Minetest Biome API. This page you're looking at is the only thing I have to work with, and so you are going to get to watch me experiment with it in real time to figure out how to build my Mars-like environment. Okay, so in my world, I have three biomes right now. I have Mars Desert, Mars Volcano, and Mars Valley. And then down here is Mars Ice Caps, which is commented out right now. And so we're just going to experiment with what all these values do. Okay, so I'm going to comment the volcano and the valley for right now. We're just going to work with the desert. So, bam. This is actually my first time using Lua, too. I think, briefly I looked at it a little bit with Roblox, but Roblox did not spark joy. So, here's where we are. Okay. So, let me, boom, and you. Okay. So, what we know right now is that we have these definitions of what all the fields are, but some of them are not illustrative at all. They just sort of spell out the words that were used for the property. And the biggest problem that I'm having is that I cannot make water stop appearing on Mars. So what I've got is we've got 4 water values that I have been able to find. Is there one more? There might be another one. Node water top, and node river water. All right, so those are the 3 node ones, and I have set them all to air. Heat point and humidity point are the most confusing to me. So it says here that they're used to kind of create this like X and Y axis that is spaced out for the Voronoi, I think it's Voronoi, cells. It's this word right here. It looks like Voronoi, but I think someone that I asked about said Voronoi. I don't know. Uses math to space things out and make them look like the things on turtle shells. I don't fully understand it at all. So what we're going to do is we're just going to control some variables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the Y to upper limit, Y max. So this is another thing that's ambiguous to me. It says that they're the upper limit and lower limit for the biome. Are these the limits of where this biome can spawn, or where the spaces that a biome creates? I don't know. The question is, is the landscape independent of this, or is this defining the shape of the landscape? And I just don't know. So I'm going to try to set this to, I don't even know if lower limit is a variable. No. All right. We're just going to say -1000 and find out what that does. I'm going to set heat point. If heat point and humidity only space the cells, and I've only got one biome, setting them both to 0 should make no difference. So we're going to save that. Some characteristics of this is I've got a dust top. I might want to cut that out, but this is like a little, what do you call that? It's not a full-size box, like a, oh my goodness, like a slab in Minecraft. And that's actually what it is. It's a slab. And then, yeah, we'll have basalt, which is this redstone, default desert stone, which is a darker red, and then the fines are kind of an orangey, fuzzy look. And I made the textures really quickly. They don't really look great. They're just kind of placeholders for the future. Okay, so we got the setup. We're in Minetest. We're going to go to the menu, and then do what I do every time I need to generate a world, which is delete the last one, create a new one with no name because it's just going to die anyway, enable my Mars world mod, and play. Okay. So the lower limit 1000 did not seem to, or -1000 did not seem to actually make it deeper. I'm using Carpathian because it was sort of like the most smooth and worn down. It looked like an older surface than a lot of this. I'm gonna fly. All right, so we can really look at this. Okay, we've got some caves. The one weird thing Carpathian does, I don't know if I see one here, is it makes these very rectangular holes that are quite interesting. But other than that, you can kind of see how rounded this looks. Looks like the surface of a very old planet that has not changed much, except for, I don't know, we're lacking some meteor impacts, which is a future goal. Okay, so as far as I can tell, there is not water here. So I wonder if I was getting water before just because of setting that lower limit not low enough, and having the default go in there. So you can kind of see I've got this silly olivine ore. I've done some basic research on what minerals are found in on Mars. And essentially what I'm going to need to do, because I don't use regular stone, I only use this desert stone, is I need to take all of the ores that are relevant, which is all of them as far as I can tell. There's not really a reason I need to add nickel. I'll just keep tin and the other Minetest ores. I just need to add them as a new node that goes on this desert stone instead of the default stone. And that's it. Okay, so we're going to just change the experiment. So I'm going to lower the upper limit on the biome so you can see kind of what happened last time I did this. So I'm going to set this upper limit to like 100, I think. Should do it. Maybe lower. Let's try 50. Okay. So I'm going to set the upper limit to 50. Delete this world. Yep. Create a new one. Still Carpathian. Configure. Enable. If anybody knows how to start myself in creative with flying privileges and Mars world enabled by default, would love to do that because this is a lot of steps. Okay. I'm going to generate a new world. And basically, I was hoping you were going to see what would happen, which is that over a certain height, maybe I need to make it even lower, it was going back to the default stone. Okay, now we've got water again, and I haven't changed anything, so maybe we just got lucky last time. That's like the other problem with trying to do experiments to figure this out, is that it's randomly generated every time, so you don't know if it's coincidence or just a nuance of your seed, or if friggin' I cannot keep water off Mars. Okay. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna change this back to that. Save it. Delete. I'm just gonna generate another world so I can see if I was just lucky and not getting water last time. Well, that solves that. Why can't I get rid of water? Node water is default air. Been really, really specific about it. Okay, so this is another point where we get into, like, I don't know how to modify this. Or, like, what's going to create it. So one of the things I did was do depth riverbed 0, but I don't think this is a riverbed. What the distinction is between those, I do not know. Let's just try generating this, see what that changes. What, cat? I see you. Delete. New. I think they are oceans, not riverbeds. I think those two things encompass... There it is. You can see the water. There's no force in the universe that will stop it. I know we're not below negative 1,000 right now, so I'm kind of enjoying the shape of these mountains, though. It's really, really doing it for me. The landscaping, I just wish I could make this go away. Okay, so next test, we're going to try to change water to default. Is there just default ice? I've got Mars ice. I did that here. That doesn't seem to stop it either. Mars world ice. This does not look good at all. Assuming it actually shows up. Alright, we are deep in something and not in water, so that's exciting. There's definitely... I tried to create separate biomes for, like, the volcano and the valley, as you guys saw before. Ooh, look at this. This is so nice. I'm flying so slowly. There it is. And it's not ice either. So either that parameter is not what I'm looking for. I don't think I've actually seen that ice show up other places, so I'm not positive. Okay. Going back here. Alright, I mean, literally, let's see, we'll go back to the boom thing. The only water nodes available, node water top, surface layer, and seawater. Seawater. So river water doesn't really sound... I don't actually know if my map gen is replacing water with river water. Riverbed basalt. I wonder if we can do something like default stone so I can see if it's supposed to be a river. Thickness of layer under the river water. Okay, well then we need a thickness there. Depth water top. Don't know. Alright, let's try again. Right now, here's the question. Did something I change, and I suspect yes, change also the height of the mountains? Or decrease heights of valleys or something? Why is it like this? Another one of my projects is going to be where we're creating boulders that are just scattered all over the surface. And so that we get that kind of rocky terrain that you see in some of the rover photos and that seem to have formed some of the challenges for the Mars rovers, for example. What block is that? It's fascinating. Is this a structure? That's why I've been seeing weird rectangles. It's a structure? Oh my god, now I've got to figure out how to override structures. Good lord. Desert cobblestone. Fascinating. I have no idea. Yeah, this is like stairs like. Am I in creative? I am. Show me. I want the like. It's a messe torch, right? I have no idea how you say that word. Forgive me. People who actually mine test. Yeah, messe post lights. You control click and get 64. No, okay. Sorry, I'm definitely more familiar with Minecraft. But, okay. All right. Neat. Okay. All right. So we didn't see any water in this, right? We're sure about that? No. That's the problem with randomly generated stuff. I don't know. Maybe I should just generate a world 3 times. So, I mean, 3 is not even statistically representative, so, you know, where this would stop. I mean, this creates a feeling of vastness. This is probably closer to, like, you know, the combo of things we've seen from rovers and, yeah, I'm just going to regenerate using the exact same code, and we're going to see what happens. So it looks like, you know, I'm also basing this a little bit on this, like, National Geographic Mars series. It's on Netflix. That is like this combo of imagining a Mars colonization project with, like, the National Geographic documentary style stuff. And in the style, it recycles a lot of footage. I mean, I'm telling you, they had probably enough for, like, 2 episodes, and they've stretched it into a season. But I've watched the first 2 episodes so far, and I quite like it. So, oops, forgot to enable. Good lord. My mod. Need to make it Mars. Okay. So, I mean, the fun thing about when I was doing skyboxes is that, okay. All right, the dust on top of the ice is a little weird, but that's Marsy. So this is my Mars ice block. It's yeah, you can kind of see it's all this black underneath, and then the top is white. I don't know. I was working on just having, like, a surface block and then have everything else be this kind of black ice to give you that, I don't know, extraterrestrial feel. I really don't like the default Minetest ice block. It looks like everything that's wrong with Minecraft glass blocks. I'm like, this is, like, extremely busy, and why, like, every realistic mod. Okay, this looks like a planet. Ooh, that's very flat. Yeah, the next project is going to be adding boulders. Yep, I like the ravine. I like the ice. There's not that much. And hopefully there's not water, which I'm very tired of. Okay, so experiment 2. We're now going to have 2 biomes, and we're going to see how much I don't understand heat and the heat point and humidity point values. So this one is 0, 0. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the ice caps in because the other ones all have the same blocks, so they look completely the same. Mars World Ice, Mars World Ice, Mars World Deep Ice, which is just going to be that black. Actually, I want Deep Ice for node water too. Like that. Yeah, just one on the top. I've put obsidian here. What I want is, God, what is it? Oxa? Some sort of black sulfury something or other that seems to be in a lot of Mars's mantle. From, you know, what I've done. Okay, so for the purpose of this, I'm going to set everything to the same value. So we're going to have upper limit -1000, limit -1000, and I think that means it's just not going to spawn at all. And then heat and humidity we're also going to set to 0. Just control some damn variables here. Okay. I'm saving that. Deleting the previous world. Yes. New. Create. Configure. Mars world. Save. I'll have it generate. Okay. And as suspected, there's no ice caps. There's no ice. It should be it's very white when it generates. And I'm just not seeing it all. No, nothing. Because the heat and humidity points, I guess, are needed to create these different nodes. And if they're the same, I guess it's going to default to the first one. We're going to test that by commenting our main one to make sure that the ice caps form and so that you can see what they look like so that we will both know when they have formed. Deleting you. New. Okay, so here we have ice caps. We've still got some stone. Underneath these surface ones, we should see... Oh, that's weird. I guess I added this as the dust? I must have. Yeah, we need to set the filler to deep ice. Not just the water value that I think I had there. I don't know. In red Mars, well, in green Mars, one of the characters, Nirgal, talks about the green world and the white world being kind of the place he grew up in this ice cap hidden base, and so I may want this to be whiter. Okay, so just to make this adjustment while we've got the variables controlled, what we want is for the filler not to be basalt, but to be deep ice as well. I'm just going to test that before we move on. Okay, so now we're seeing that deep ice. You see the black underneath the kind of top white layer. Ugh. Yeah, so I definitely want the polar ice caps to be a much smaller biome when they show up. And I don't want the same height. So I don't know if I can set my upper and lower limits. If I decrease them, if I'll get what I want. Okay. So let's just experiment with putting them back together for right now, and then I don't understand what determines the height of the terrain at all. If you have ideas, please put them in the comments section. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay. So now we've got a heat point and a humidity point. So the only thing I'm going to change, heat point is on a scale from 0 to 100, I think, or generally, but not limited to. So we're going to set a heat point in the Mars desert to 50. And yeah, just for the sake of careful experimentation, we're going to just try that first. All right. I mean, and it kind of makes sense that it still wouldn't show up because we've got kind of a one-dimensional distinction. But it's still annoying. Okay, so now I've got the heat point at 50 in the desert and humidity at 0. The mistake I made initially was that, so now I'm going to do the opposite for the other one and put humidity at 50 and heat at 0. And I tried to actually make these reflect what I think the heat and humidity of the space would be, because the biomes I was looking at in the default kind of had that to a certain degree. but that did not work at all because we're just, compared to Earth temperatures, we're talking about, okay, so now we've got all ice caps. Is that where we are? And maybe we just have very large biomes and I haven't loaded enough. But what I would like what I would like to happen is if someone lands on Mars, they land on a reddish area, but there might be some icy spots nearby, and maybe some ice just throughout in low valleys and things like that. See, I don't understand this at all. Okay. So now I'm going to put your humidity point at 25. No idea why. Just, I could try 50. It's really weird that I can't get these both to show up. I wonder if it's because they have the same, because they have the same limits, that it's just automatically picking one or the other based on the heat and humidity, which is why we're getting the change. Okay, so Mars desert, upper limit, Y-min. Let's put that closer to negative 100. Okay. And then the ice caps, we're going to have the Y max be 50 and the Y min be negative 1,000, let's say. See, now I'm changing too many variables. All right. At least you're getting an idea for what the process of trying to mess with this Biome API is, which is anything generated. I'm assuming there's not a way around this whole regenerating and creating a new world every time. If there is, please someone tell me. Yeah, it just looks like it's alternating selecting them. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to figure out how to turn off default structures. Turn off the plans. At least we don't have the water problem anymore. We can chalk that up to one victory. But yeah, now I'm at a weird point where I can't get both of my biomes to show up. And what I did last time I had that problem is I just copied values from the biomes in default. Yep, can't have it all. Really am enjoying the shape of the generation. I liked it when it was pretty flat too, because you get kind of that feeling of vastness, but I don't know, all these smooth ridges are pretty enjoyable. Okay, so if we choose up here, so down here is default, and we're going to look at mapgen.lua, and forever near the bottom, there's decorations and ores, and here we go. Okay, ice sheet, max and min. But see what that does is it sets this ocean down here. I wonder if I would want to do a max like this of upper limit and a min of negative 12, heat 0.0, humidity 0.73. Okay, so we're going to try this for our, is this one mine? Yep. Humidity 0.73, Max is upper limit. And min is, I think it was like negative 128 or something like that. All right, so I'm saving that, and then we're going to go to MapGen, and we're going to look at the tundra, but I think it's like designed to be near ocean, and that's part of what throws me off. Grassland, coniferous forest, desert. Okay, so I'm just going to seal this. Go down to negative 112. From upper limit, heat point 92, humidity point 16. I don't know. See, these almost do seem to reflect real world values, but I guess that just makes sense. What was it again? Heat point 92, humidity point 16. All right, so I don't know what else. 16, negative 112, upper limit. And let's see what else. Default had for that depth riverbed was 2, depth filler was 1, depth top is 1. It doesn't try to override water, but there is water. Okay, so let's try this. Just want some ice and some Mars. That's it. All right, this is excellent shape. This is really good. There's just no polar ice caps. Like, presumably with these Voronoi values, one of them should be, I should have one that controls sort of like the size of the nodes in general, right? Creating larger nodes and smaller nodes. And one that controls like how close they are together. That's what I would like them to be. I don't think that's actually what it is. Ooh, look at that. It's lovely. Yeah, we've got no ice anywhere though. All right, I'm going to take this a lot lower. We're going to take this to negative 1,000. And make this heat point a little higher. Put you up to 50, see what happens. See, this is not a scientific process at all, because then I would control this better. But I don't. All right, here's some science. I'm going to decrease this by 10 to 40. I'm going to save it. Yeah, there's worth figuring out later that I don't want this to have a height of upper limit. I would like, but I don't know if that actually makes the map not generate these tall structures, or if it just does something over that limit. Anyway. I mean, and this could be a dice roll, and I'm just think I'm even getting data. All right, and now desert. Why can't these coexist? Is there just too much overlap in the values, or is it really just that the map has spaced them so considerably? Okay. Yeah, let's just try it again with the exact same value and make sure we're not just getting a coin flip. All right, well, 2 is enough data. It's not a coin flip. Okay. Okay, so it seems to be, I could look at it relative. So between 40 and 30, it's swapped from building this ice caps biome exclusively to building the desert biome exclusively. Didn't try changing the humidity to see if that changed it at all, but all right, we're going to put this at 35. And yeah, I think that is all for this video, which is already way too long. I'm going to continue working on this, and hopefully I will have some answers for next time in my attempts to master the Biomes API of Minetest. Thank you, guys.